For years, theories of a serial killer in downtown Austin have been shared widely on social media, despite investigators continually denying the existence of one. This week, on Inside the Investigation, senior investigative producer David Barrere breaks down how a new study found no evidence of the Lady Bird Lake serial killer. Welcome to Inside the Investigation. I'm your host, Kelly Wiley, and this week we're talking about something that has captured the attention of Austinites and I think crime watchers across the country, or people who are interested in true crime. But this is about the Lady Bird Lake serial killer, or the lack thereof. Today we have my colleague, senior investigative producer David Barrere, here with us to talk about it. Welcome to the show, David.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so David, we've seen all of the social media videos talking about a potential serial killer here in Austin, and many of those videos have had tens of thousands of views. At least one has had millions of views. Where did really all of this start? Why are people convinced that there might be a serial killer in Austin?
So there's been online talk for a couple of years, or going back maybe even a little bit more than that, that there is a serial killer operating in downtown Austin in the Rainey Street area. And the theory is that the serial killer has been targeting men, mostly in their 20 to 40 year old age range. Maybe they're drugging them or targeting intoxicated people. And then somehow getting them down to Lady Bird Lake and drowning them, or doing something to them that causes them to drown in the lake. Obviously, they haven't been caught. There's not really photographs of any specific person or video of anyone doing that, despite all of the instances of this allegedly happening. But this theory has been pushed on social media, TikTok, and even made it into some more mainstream news publications.
Yeah. And the report that you all worked on focuses on dispelling a lot of these theories. Tell us about the team who did the research on the report that's kind of central to your story.
Yeah, so this was studied by Texas State University. They did a report. It's titled "The Rainey Street Ripper: An Independent Analysis of the Evidence." There were two professors of criminology from Texas State University that worked on it. And they work in the Center for Geospatial Intelligence and Investigation, and there was also a researcher and analyst from the Austin Police Department that was on the report.
Okay, so that's interesting that they're working with police on that. How did the team approach the research? How do you even start to figure something like that out?
Yeah, so they collected records from the Austin Police Department. They got autopsy reports from the Travis County Medical Examiner's Office, and they did a variety of different analysis on the incidents, like their locations, timing, proximity to Rainey Street. They profiled past serial killers from around the world. They looked at 189 drowning deaths from 2004 to this year. And they narrowed that group down to 58 target cases that matched the general MO and victimology of this alleged serial killer.
Did the study take on what was likely the cause of the deaths?
Yeah, so they looked at a wide range of factors, including what investigators say caused these deaths. They looked into the locations, the timing, the circumstances. They looked at what people were doing before they died. They looked at toxicology, demographics. These were all part of the analysis they did. They used what's called, here, I need to read off my sheet.
Go for it, yes.
It's called a spatial temporal cluster analysis. And since there wasn't physical evidence of a serial killer, there weren't witnesses that they could go talk to that have seen this alleged serial killer in action. So this type of analysis, the spatial temporal cluster analysis, looks at the locations of deaths over time. I might be oversimplifying this, but no. It's sort of their scientific approach to analyzing this whole thing. Locations of deaths over time, how they cluster, and whether there's a statistically significant increase that would show them that there are more deaths happening, or deaths at a higher rate in specific locations that would be above the average, that would identify something is amiss, essentially. It's been used to find serial killers in other places in the past. That analysis did not identify anything statistically significant. Sorry, that's hard to say. They said the number of target drownings, if you were to look at it on a chart, was essentially smooth from prior to 2023, when the serial killer theories popped up, before that, and then after that.
So, I mean, they've really applied science and, like you said, other ways that serial killers have been identified to the circumstances here to try to figure out if there are any patterns like that. But there is so much chatter around it. We talked about this at the top of the show. There's so many people online who are convinced and genuinely concerned for their safety and for what happened to the people that have been found in that body of water. How do you think the city and APD wants the greater public to take away, or what did they want them to take away from this study?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what the study said, and the key takeaway of the study was that they found, and I'll quote the study, no direct evidence of a serial killer or indirect warning signs. And the drowning numbers are consistent with historic trends in population growth here. And also, and I didn't bring this up earlier, the researchers referenced a big study done previously that analyzed over 7,700 7,700 drowning deaths in Texas. That study identified disparities in drowning rates in Texas from 1999 to 2020 based on race and sex, and they found that drowning is a significant public health issue in Texas. On average, about one person dies every day in Texas by drowning. More people die in natural bodies of water than any other type of water body. Men are 3.7 times more likely to die than women. And the findings in that study regarding the demographics of people dying essentially supported what the researchers in this Texas State study found, that the number of men dying in the lake was in line with average drowning deaths in Texas going back more than 2 decades. So a big factor, and I think a takeaway that the authorities would like us to get, is that the big factor that increases significantly the risk of drowning among men 22 to 44 years old is alcohol. And as we know, there's a lot of alcohol being consumed downtown along Rainey Street every day, and especially on the weekends and nights.
Well, this is really interesting reporting, and it hits on something obviously that people are very interested in. And so if you guys have been following the chatter and the talk around this online, or even just in some, like you mentioned, like there have been big media outlets that have covered this as well, this is definitely a report you should read as well to better understand how researchers are understanding what's going on. David, thank you so much for your reporting. You can read and watch this full report and a study on KXAN.com right now under the Investigations tab. Thank you for joining us this week on Inside the Investigation. I'm Kelly Wiley. We'll see you next time.